We're DIY guys. Of course I'm going to buy a jacket from Costco and then bleach it a bunch and then try and paint it so that I might wear it more or like it more than what it was when I originally bought it, even though I only spent $16 on it.
Can you tell by my walk? Can you hear it in my talk? I'm barely cool. I'm barely cool. Can't you see in my eyes? It should come as no surprise. I'm barely cool. I'm barely cool. I'm barely cool. The barely cool. No, the barely cool. The barely cool. Yeah, the barely cool. The barely cool. No, the barely cool. Yeah.
We're DIY guys. Boom. Welcome back to the Barely Cool podcast. I'm doing a little DIY with this guy. DIY with this guy. DIY with Judah. Yeah, I said it in the intro. What, you weren't listening? Sorry about this insane camera angle, by the way. What am I, flicking Terry Gilliam? Hello, Brazil called. Wabadinuo's most underweighted wool. Yeah, the camera angle is just so you can kind of see me and then also this, but you can see flipping everything. Hopefully you can't see the dishes I've got piled up in the background. When I do stuff like this, I work very erratically. There's kind of just stuff all around me, and I thought it'd be kind of fun to get you, the viewer, involved. So, I said it in the intro. I got this coat, shacket thing, at Costco. I don't know. I want to say like a year ago. And it was kind of like a 90s hunter green. Like it was kind of like, it wasn't like a Kelly green. It was a little darker. And it was fine. You know, I thought this is kind of nice, but the colors they had, like it was that and then like a peach, I want to say. And it's actually a women's jacket, but it was just so cozy. And so I thought, you know what, I'll get it. Now, since then, I've decided I don't really love the green, and I thought if I bleached it or removed the color, I could get it to a nice white. Now that was not the case. I bought some RIT color remover because it's like 40% polyester, and I read online that bleach doesn't really work for that. So I used some RIT color remover, and I did a couple rounds of that. And it just kind of got lighter. And then at that point, I was like, well, I've already fricked this thing pretty bad. So I guess I'm going to try the bleach. And so I mixed some water and bleach, and I let it sit soaking in that for ages. So I got it to kind of like this grayish color, which you can sort of see in some of these open areas. And I thought, I don't love that either. It's fine. It's a little boring. So then I thought, I'm going to paint it. I saw something online of like an article of clothing that looked like it had a bunch of paint on it, and I thought it looked pretty cool. Except that one was just a print. And I thought, well, I have paint, so I could try that. So I'm really leaning into these kind of like pinks and blues. There are some bits of green and yellow and some orange. I want those to kind of be highlights, so I'm going to kind of pull some of those back a little bit. I did this first round, and I thought it was all right, but I used a lot of water, and so it kind of spread, which is fine. But I kind of want the layered look. Like I want like some really like rich like paint drop bits. This little chunk here in particular, it's kind of like this watered down pink and black, but then over top is this nice, really bright pink. I like the layering on that quite a bit. There's this one drop of blue on it. So that's kind of the vibe. And I'm going to kind of go back over some of this. And I thought, why not take you guys along with me? I don't know how I'm going to do this with one hand, but it's kind of an erratic process anyway. So right now I know that I want to add a lot of blue over top of some of these blue areas. So what I'm going to do is I got my palette here. I've already got some of these brushes dipped in water. And we're just going to freaking go for it. So right off the bat, I've got, I use really cheap paint because, like, who cares? I don't do a lot of painting. And honestly, the painting that I do kind of evokes a childlike kind of style anyway. It's kind of part of it, you know? Part of the, part of the artist statement, part of the meaning. I don't know. I like to tackle some heavy topics with my art in a kind of fun, childlike way. I've also got this bright turquoise. I'm gonna get a little funky with that. I really liked this color. I also have like a really bright neon green, but I don't think that's gonna work. Ooh, what is this? Bright red. Okay, I could maybe flick around with some of that. And then I also have some liquid watercolor. And so I might do a couple drops of that into just as like an additive. We'll see. There's a lot of it on there, which I didn't really think about if the jacket got wet. But, you know, why plan ahead, you know? You guys, this is just about having fun. I didn't really love the jacket to begin with, and it was cheap. Probably too cheap. Probably so cheap you start to question how it was made. By whom? How old were they? Were they paid an equal living wage? Probably not. So, you know, let's just go and oh yeah, that's already real nice. Let's get some of this. Now the thing with these cheap paints is they're really thin. Like you usually need to do like a couple coats. The pink that I have on here is not cheap. That was like all the way back from when I was in art school. And I had to buy a certain set of paint for like one of the classes I was in. So yeah, they seem to work pretty well at kind of holding the color, and I don't need to do as many coats. So that's, I think, why I went with like adding some adding a lot of water to it, because the water kind of just, it naturally just kind of spread it, and I was kind of liking how it kind of watercolory look spread. And then it dried, and I went, ooh, I don't quite know if I like that. Don't quite know if I like that. But this layering already, like, I'm digging this. I really like this turquoise color. I think that's going to work. I think that's really going to be kind of neat. I also, because it's like, it's fabric, it's just a jacket. It soaks up paint like nobody's freaking business. So I've used a lot of it. Used a lot of paint. But again, it's really cheap. Like I get this friggin' crap from the friggin' Dawawama from the dollar store. So what do I care? I'm putting a lot of time into this jacket, and you know, that's kind of part of what we're doing here. I kind of want to do. Is this crazy to do like a really big like? Don't know how I felt about that. I think it was maybe a little too dramatic, and maybe there's a little bit too much blue over there now. But we live and we learn, and you can always cover it back up with other paint. This jacket's gonna be friggin' really heavy when I'm done with it. But oh, that's like a big glob of goop. That kind of half-dried paint. Gross. Let's get a little bit on the button. Oh, yeah, that looks great. That's fun. Bit more of that turquoisey color, kind of peeking out. Yeah. Let's get some more of that turquoise. Where is that? This one? I love this turquoise color. I didn't think I would, but it kind of adds to this kind of like crazy, like 80s kind of neon look. Very nice. Very nice. You know, like Barat. It's also got these like weird little birds. Uh-oh. Careful not to grab the goop. It might fling off. Kind of like these, not embossed, but like kind of. I don't like them, like at all. And I don't know if I can remove them, so that's fine. Now, I don't know where in the camera y'all can see, and that's just going to have to be part of this. Yeah, I really like this kind of like dry paint look. I think that works. I think that works a lot better than this kind of like wet, kind of like seepy look. I mean, it's still cool. It's just, it wasn't exactly what I wanted, once it dried. So I'm kind of just, you just have fun with it, and you just kind of try and add stuff and get a little weird. People, here's the thing. Like I was talking to my wife about this whole little project, and she was like, you spent like $16 on this coat to begin with. Why are you investing so much time into it? Like, who cares? And I went like, yeah, but that's kind of why, like I don't want to just throw it out, just because it's not like exactly, just because the joy it once brought is no longer quite there. I can do something with it, I don't have to just like give it away or throw it out. I'd rather kind of make it into something new and kind of its own thing. So I'm really just kind of going around having a flippin' ball. And like the other thing too is people like, they might see this and be like, what are you doing? And that's a valid question. I don't really know all the time, but you can, like, as an adult, like, you can kind of just do this. Like, why not? What am I doing? I'm just kind of, it's art in a way. I wouldn't hang it up. I wouldn't go so far as to hang it up and say like, oh, this belongs in a museum. Whole Indiana Jones. No, but I just think like, where am I going with this? I think in our culture we throw things out too quick. Like I was talking about like, ooh, I'm gonna look at maybe I'm gonna look at replacing the buttons and buying some new buttons. And that, okay, I kind of get that. Am I gonna go buy? See, that's part of the issue. Is I guess I'm still buying something. I'm still contributing to that kind of consumeristic thing that I'm trying to avoid by buying buttons. So I didn't buy buttons. I said, well, I'm going to try and paint them first. And if I don't love that, then I'll buy some buttons, some coconut buttons that I found online. And they're pretty cool. But I figured I would try and paint because, like, first off, I want to buy less things. That's part of it. I want to spend less money on things that I get bored of quickly. So why not? I've already purchased this. That I can't change that. I bought this. It was kind of a spur of the moment thing, and the deed is done. I own this. So now I have the choice to whether or not I can just keep wearing it as this kind of like hunter green jacket, which I don't love. I could go buy a new one. Again, don't really want to do that. Or I can kind of turn it into something new. And I'm a flippin' adult. I can do that. I don't have to be serious all the time. I can get a little crazy and paint my jacket for no reason. And honestly, even after I'm done, I might still not love it, but at least I tried. And if I hate it, I can still donate it. It's not, I mean, I don't know. Maybe no one would wear this. Maybe this is like, maybe I will try and sell it. That'll be my only way to recoup the damages. Going, hey, which one of you schmucks wants to buy this mistake? I got a little too close to the sun. Okay, so now here's the thing: is I like what I've done with a lot of the blue on the parts that I can see. Now I gotta flip it. So just give me a sec. I've got saran wrap. I fully saran wrap my entire coffee table here so as not to get paint everywhere. So now I'm just gonna flip it, and if there's paint underneath it, who cares? It's on saran wrap, and it'll just kind of mush again and add to it, I think. I'm going color by color. Oh, I see some color right there that I want to add, just real quick. But I need some more blue. Of course I do. 1 second. Let's get a little bit of water on my brush, just to help make this paint go a little bit further. Not so much that it's soaking, but already better. Already looking great. Let's get some of that yellow out of there. Yeah. Okay, let's do something crazy. Let's just go throw that down there. Okay, that's where it lives now. Nice. That's a fun... I'm going to remember that one. That was a fun one. I dropped that. That's kind of fun. Do I need something in there? Something to kind of brighten it up? Let's do... Yeah, let's just do like a... Yeah, perfect. Okay, now I'm going to flip it. So this side is very much that, like, kind of, almost like a car wash, where, like, the, all the colors start, like, blurring together. Like, that's very much the vibe I get out of this side here. And it's fine. It's just, it's not quite what I wanted. I wanted a little bit more clear delineation between the colors, and I like the layering on the front, so we're gonna just kind of go back in and do some of that, and just get a little messy and have some fun. And this is like a DIY that you definitely probably shouldn't follow along with because it's pretty stupid, but you can, if you've got something that, maybe it's not exactly a jacket that you're putting paint on, but maybe it's just something, an article of clothing that you want to breathe some new life into. And you're not quite sure how you want to do that. And so you're kind of just watching for ideas. And I support that. Yeah, this already looks so much better. I'm already so much happier with that. I'm killing so much paint though. Like, it's not even funny. Like, I keep pouring thinking like, oh, that should be enough. Surely that'll be the last time I pour paint. Surely if you just add one more lane to the highway. Holy hell. That snuck out of me. That was disgusting. Surely if you just add one more lane to the highway, that'll clear up traffic, right, guys? Right, guys? Just one more lane. Yeah, what do we got going on in this? Yeah, let's get something in there. I might add a little... I don't really have... let's add a bit more of that watercolor. Very carefully as I flail this paintbrush around. A couple drops of that to mix into the acrylic. Surely that'll work. Surely that'll work. It won't cause problems. Yeah, already fun. Already having some fun with that. Let's get some of that turquoise kind of around the edges there. Because I added some greens, and I like them, but I just want to pull them back just a bit. So let's layer, like I like the greens near the blues, but I don't really want to see like full 100% green necessarily. I kind of like the idea of just the hint of it. Just the hint. Okay, let's flip this, which I don't even know if I really need to do. I'm trying to get up into this shoulder area, which again, no clue if you can even see. And I'm making a mess. That's what it is. It's making a mess until you're happy. Which sounds really sad. But like, you know, with art, so much of it is that kind of expression, self-expression. And I kind of, you know, with stuff like this, I don't really know. There's no right, you know, I'm not painting something specific. I'm just kind of going, you know, right now, like I'm even just putting the paint directly on. Let's get a couple drops there. You know what? I actually really like that. Leave that drop. Just kind of pull some of the paint off of it. But now what I'm doing is I'm kind of just letting gravity decide in a way. And then I'm going to, you know, some of them I might... Oh, no, I'm not really going to leave any as perfect drops because I don't think that will... I think that'll rip off if it just dries too 3D. But I'm letting gravity kind of decide, and then I can just mash it. And that's already like that's very cool. Okay, just up in here, and then I think I'm gonna call it on the blue for now. See, that's the thing, is you never know. You're kind of just seeing. Yeah, just kind of mix it up. And let's get back in with some of that. Oh, almost threw my paintbrush. Almost, like, literally threw it and let go of it. And oh, yeah. The layer... see, I think... Like, I guess the vibe of this jacket is I kind of want to evoke time. And not in, like, a passage of time. But, like... in like a, this was maybe worn, this is, you know, a lot of layers of paint, maybe over a decent chunk of time, perhaps. I'm not really sure. Now, again, I'm still a little bit too much green in here. I'm gonna go crazy again. I'm gonna pour directly on, and I'm gonna wet my brush so it's not quite so thick. Yeah, that looks good. Let's cap that. Okay, and then just kind of, yeah, hide and layer, and yeah, let's get some of that green out of there. Cool. Okay, and then just a touch. See, here's the thing. Is you never... I said I was going to be done with the blue, and then I keep looking, and I go, well, no, I'm not done with the blue, actually. I want to keep going. get some more of that watercolor-y touch of water in there. And then yeah. Yes. Yes. Tiny bit of this turquoise up there. Again, maybe like a little drizzle drop. Oh yeah. And then let's, pull that up from the collar maybe, and then that kind of yeah. Directly onto the brush. And then we'll let's aim for like here. A little bit of water. Keep that paint moving, not super thick. I can kind of blur out the edges. Yeah, very cool. There's like black on here too, and I'm probably going to go back in with that at the very end. No. Do I go back in at the very end? Or do I do a little bit of that? Oh, that's quite goopy. Do a little bit of that now in between the pink. I think now. Let's get a touch. Just a little bit of acrylic black. I don't really know where I want this on my... Let's just go down here. I got a bit of black paint there. I found a lid. Where's this for? Oh, see? Here. Oh, and there's some dripping blue. So let's add that. Yeah, just off. Screw that back on, and then we'll just clean off this excess paint off of with the jacket. 'Cause why not? That's kind of what we're doing anyway, aren't we? Put the black back over there. There is it's on my thingies. There is some method to this chaos. I swear to you. I hope I don't get any paint on this mic, or Ben will yell at me. And then I've got this t-shirt over here. Also, it's actually got Ben's face on it, which is kind of funny. And I've been using this t-shirt as kind of like a paint rag for quite a while now. I'll show it off. Let me show it off to you. One sec. So it's kind of like that one is kind of this jacket, but for real, where it's like truly just years and layers of paint. Now I don't paint that regularly, so that's why it really doesn't look like much. I actually hate painting in a lot of ways. Stuff like this is pretty fun because it's silly. This I'm just doing like little dabs. Not too much. Just to kind of, again, we're going for I don't know what we're going for. Let's stop thinking about it. Let's just... Okay, that feels good. Not too much, just a little bit. Let's do a flip. Let's add a little bit to this one sleeve. realized I'm not holding the mic. Whoopsies. I need to be real. Yeah. Oh, my paintbrush broke. Let's just slide this bad boy back on there. There we go. Nice. Do I want? Let's do a tiny little flick. Cool. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're already 30 minutes in. Gosh, how the time flies. I need more water, so just give me 2 seconds, y'all. I'm gonna lay this out flat again up front, and we're gonna go back in with some of that pink, maybe some of that bright red, maybe, and maybe, and then we'll call it. And I think we'll see how we feel about it. That's the beauty of this, right? Is you don't have to make the decision right away. You let it dry and you think about it and you go, is this quite evoking what I want it to? Right now, I'm feeling pretty happy. So let me hold it up. Let me show it off, get some more water, and we'll go into the pinks and reds. I'll be back. Just getting some more water. Real quick. Don't need to get it super clean. Colors mix a bit. That's kind of just part of it. Sorry, there's balloons kind of everywhere. Okay. So now this pink I have is old. It's like a acrylic gouache, and then I've got this. Where was that bright red? That was like here, right? Let's try it. I don't know if I've ever used this bright red. But I might do it as kind of like an under. Because again, I really love this like bright pink just kind of smattering on there. And then maybe I'll go back in with a touch of black again. At the very end. So there's kind of that layered aspect. Let's see. Okay, now this pink is pretty thick. You do have to kind of water it down. But I'm going to start with some of this like red. And just kind of, again, it's just about the layering aspect. Don't need it everywhere. I don't really want it everywhere because I'm going for more of that pink color compared to the red, but it might be nice kind of underneath, and then I can layer some of that pink back over top. And again, the red is the cheap stuff. I can use as much of that and not feel bad at all. So, in fact, I will. Let's get quite a pile of that because I know I'm going to kill like a ton of it. And then we'll just go, and we'll, like, there's a spot there that could be. I'm grouping the colors just a touch. Like, I'm trying to keep. I don't want too much of the color mixing, just because I think that's where it starts to look a little bit unintentional, and it starts to look a little bit too like seepy, and you don't really get those bright pops. It just kind of all blurs together. So I'm kind of just where I see the pinks and the reds. I am kind of just. That's where I'm focusing right now. Same with the oranges. I guess warm and cool. Like, I'm kind of keeping those similar. And then every now and again, yeah, I might do like a bright drop of, red on top of the blue or whatever, or like right next to it, really defined, just to kind of have those little moments of pop, So, okay, I like that. I'm liking that. Okay, let's pull back some of this yellow on this sleeve. By adding the red. Let's see what this sleeve is doing, because I don't see it. Not bad, actually. There's quite a bright pink localized there. So I'm just gonna do a bit of that red, that bright red. Try not to do it too on the lines, so it doesn't look like I'm doing what I'm doing, where it's like, oh, this side's this side's that. Just a bit of a mix of both. Let's do just a flash of this, right? Let's see. Squint the eyes. That looks nice. Cool. Okay. So now, wet the brush just a touch. Let's get working some of that acrylic bright pink. It's called the Rose Acryl Gouache. So this is where I really want to go, like, and really kind of bring up those layers. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. This one has to be kind of... little pink surprise under the pocket there. You have to get this one pretty wet for it to actually start poking through and actually start to, like... It comes out pretty thick, the paint, and then if you want it to actually work properly and be less like an oil pastel, you do kind of need to work some water into it. The problem with that is, again, it's like a layering thing. If it's too wet, it's a little bit too translucent, especially in some of these darker areas, but that's part of it. It's just kind of seeing, because I quite like that. Let's get a little bit more directly on, and we'll just kind of another little drop. Yeah, that's nice. That's quite nice. Where else? Ooh, up here. Layer some of that. You know, maybe I'll mix some red into it. Yeah, that's nice. That's really nice. I know I worked some. Okay, see, that's quite faded there, which is fine. I don't know if I want it to like kind of fade out, or if I want like, you know, like it looks like that's like the edge. Maybe I do. Maybe I'll just kind of just add a little bit more saturation to it. Get it real. Kind of squint again, see what it is that I'm seeing, where those lines are. So it's not super obviously done. Yeah, that's fun. Yeah, a little touch of pink in here, because there's some of that yellow, and I'll just kind of have fun. I'm like, this is like Bob Ross, but if Bob Ross had nothing to say, you know? A little bit of pink, little happy bit of pink there, maybe some on top of the blue if it's nice and bright. Just a little dot of that, Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm really liking this, I think. Let's add a couple more drops down here. Some of that layering over the blue now. Just seeing where the pink wants to go. And not being too precious with it, but also not being too silly either. Gonna have to flip pretty soon because I don't have a ton of pink, and I don't want to run out. So let's do a flip. Okay, so what my brain sees when I do that flip is this back is almost all blue. So I really want to get a couple big spots of pink. Like I'm thinking leaning into up there. And just seeing where that takes me. So I'm going to get a bunch of this red, and I'm just going to kind of, again, get a base. It's okay if I like that it looks muddy around the edges. I just want like the pops. The pops like, ooh, that's like very much pure pink or pure blue or pure, you know, whatever. I also don't mind the idea of, because there's some pink right in there. I kind of like the idea of really just yeah. Already looking so much nicer. Yeah, and I think what if I just take, there's some pink up there that I kind of want to do something with. Get some water again. I'm okay if it gets a little bit muddy around the edges. I just want to be able to go back in with a couple drops of that bright pink after I've muddied it up and made a mess and had some fun. Because this is the whole point of this is for the fun of it. If it was purely for how it looked, well, I probably would have just left it green or maybe just dyed it flat black, which was a potential when the bleach really didn't seem to be working. I was like, all right, I gotta figure this out. Yeah, see, now it doesn't feel quite so bright blue to me. It doesn't feel like there's, like it's as one-sided color-wise. But let's keep going, keep layering, keep kind of blurring the edges, doing some mixing. Not so much that it's too much. What am I going to call this episode? Like, stupid idiot Bob Ross. I think I want to get some really bright pink up in here. So I'm gonna go crazy. I'm gonna put the gouache directly on, and then I'm gonna flatten it out from there if I can. It's pretty hard to get out because it's near the end, and it's pretty thick again. Okay. Really stoked on that. Don't want to overdo it. I still like the bits of gray and stuff peeking through, but let me get all this paint off my brush. Or off the palette. Don't want to waste any. So let's just soak it up. Nice. Okay, I think that's starting to be it. It's mostly just water on there now. Maybe not. I can't tell. I can't tell. Get a little bit on the back of here. Okay, yeah, nice. Now, I think... Do I want to go in with some drops of my black ink? I think so. And I'm just gonna do it direct from the thing. Okay, that might be good for this. I think maybe just in that top corner of the sleeve. And then do one final flip and then see how we're doing. We're pretty much done the episode. Nice. Let's see. I'm stuck. Okay, I just want to localize some of this black up in this top corner because I think there's like a couple spots up on the front that kind of look like that where there's just like a few drops all together. I think that's going to be it. I think I'm much more pleased with that. So now I just need to let this dry. It's probably just going to do most of its drying here on this table. And then, once that's all done, and it's been drying for a good little bit, I just once it's like not wet to touch, I threw it in the dryer. So you don't want it wet, like wet paint, obviously, because then it will probably stain your dryer. I don't really know, but I don't want to take that risk. So, I've just been, am I even coming through the mic at all? Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I've just been letting it dry and then throwing it in there, letting it come out, trying to set those colors. Because there is a chance that, like, I wear this outside and it rains and then, like, it just all meshes back together, because a lot of these colors are liquid watercolor. Not a lot, but definitely a few. So I don't really know. I don't even know if the pink. I don't even know if this is water safe or if it will always be. I don't know. I don't know if it'll stay dry if it gets wet, or if it's like the kind of paint like a watercolor where you add it's dry but then you can go back in with water over top. I'm not really sure, but I guess we'll see. Maybe I throw it in the dryer and then I'm like, oh, this needs white, and I go in with some white paint. Probably not. I think that might be a little bit too much. But who knows? Who knows how I'm feeling? Ultimately, this might be one of those projects that you're just like never done with, and then you're constantly just kind of feeling out. But there's a lot of little moments on here that I really quite like. This little bit of turquoise. It's like a little bit of, you can't see that. A little bit of turquoise. On the pink, that's quite nice. Yeah, I think it's one of those things where it's just like you turn your brain off just a touch, just a wee bit, and then you see what happens. And then yeah, you kind of look at it again, after it's sat for a bit. Because I even considered, do I go all the way? Do I go like where you can barely see any gray? And I thought, no, I like the gray peeking through. If I did all of it, I might as well just tie-dye it. And I don't really want to do that. So I just kind of, you make little decisions. Like, is this blue up here? Is that a little too flat? I think it's fine. I think, it can't all be the exact same level of texturing. Like this part of the sleeve right here with the black and the pink and then the green, very fun. This sleeve might be a little bit too boring. Immediately I'm looking at it. So you know what? See, you're never happy. I'm gonna do one little splash of black on it on the very bottom, and then a couple drops up there, and then we're calling it because you have to call it eventually. Can't work forever. Can't do the same. You don't want to overwork it. A couple little drops there, and then just that. That's it. Just a couple. Just to kind of take away from some of that. And then these layers, like the layers look a little bit more, they get a little bit more to them. Maybe I'll even go push. See if that... Oh, yeah. I was doing that earlier, too, You get, like... You put some... Oh, that paint's never going to dry. And then you just kind of do a little bit of a push from somewhere else. And that'll kind of push off some of that paint, like right here, off the buttons. If that's doing anything. Not really. Thanks for coming to DIY with this guy. DIY with Judah. I don't know what I'm calling this. Maybe DIY with this guy. Or maybe I'll title it some clickbait. I ruined my jacket from Costco. What did he do? How, something like that. What does it matter? Thanks for tuning in. I don't know when this episode's coming out. Maybe it'll go deep in the backlog, and then I'll forget about it, and then I'll wear this jacket in between episodes, and then you'll be like, oh, new jacket? And then weeks later, the episode of me doing this comes out, and you're like, oh, I get it. It's we get to see how it was made. BTS. Jimin. All right. I got to just end this. It's almost an hour. So, on that note, guys, let's end on a nice note. Quit throwing your crap out into the landfill just because you're tired of it. Just because it doesn't really work for you anymore doesn't mean it's not worth working for. Maybe you need to put in a little bit of work. It doesn't just have to be about clothes. Think about that once in a while. Grow up. And I love you.
I've been barely cool for a while, cool with the anger and a smile, but I'm cooler than you are with or without us. I've started and this is really hard for me. Well, I'll stop myself if nobody else does.
I guess that's it. I guess that's an episode. I guess that's done. I guess. Maybe this is the episode that never ends. Maybe I just need to keep adding to the episode.